Oh yeah, hon. You with the birds and the bees, hon? Oh yeah, hon. Hey, Polly. Feeling good, hon? Uncle Popeyes? Good girl, hon. Good girl, honey. You want a drinky? Here you go. I'll give you a drinky. Hold on. You want a drinky? No problem. Coming right up. Here you go. Want a drinky? Here you go. There you go. That's drinky. Go ahead and get up there. Hey, Lisa. I'm out at Willow Park. Willow Park. Nice day today. There's a honeybee on my window. Yeah, they're gonna get crappy weather here Tuesday and Wednesday. Snow in the night. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, but that's not really unusual in April. We got nailed last year up in West Branch, like the last day of April. Hey, they shut down our Walmart where I live for health code violations, not enforcing the mask rule. Yeah, we don't have too many covered bridges up here. I don't really know where there are any in Michigan. You need a lot of contrast with a covered bridge. It would look good if you could see the water at the same time. A lot of those down south. Hey, Kathy. We're at in Ontario. Yeah, I think they're really neat looking. What's your closest big city, Kathy? Oh, okay. Nice place. Oh, are you in lockdown? Yeah, as I said, they shut down our Walmart where I live. Oh, wow. Yeah, she's always been like that since a puppy. She'll act like a dog's not even around. I've had dogs like barking through a glass window and she'll walk right up to the window and sit down and just watch it. She never reacts to like that. Oh, wow, Kathy. Where at, Lisa? Where? Where are you talking about? Oh, okay. So they shut it down for 2 days just to clean it. See, I was told, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, they shut it down. The health department shut it down. Now, in your case, is that voluntary or involuntary? Was it shut down because someone made them, or they just did it on their own? No, you'll never find a better well-behaved dog than Daisy. Since a puppy. Hey, lady. How you doing? Oh, okay. Hey, Mary. Yeah, beautiful day today. Yeah, super low maintenance. Hey, Alex, how you doing? How's your day going? Yeah, Canada's strict. Hey, Frank. Hey, Birdwatch. Hi, Rita. No, I just checked into my hotel for another week. I never miss home. Oh, really, Frank? Banned because of COVID or something else? Birdwatch. I've been doing a lot of audio recording birds singing. It's about 1,000 times harder than I thought it would be. Do you do any of that? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I have a good life. Believe me, I know it. Now you guys will figure it out sooner or later anyway. And I spell things out. Uh, it's just my personality. But there's times when you know somebody and things come up and things occur. And with me, I mean, I think I'm borderline personality anyway, so I'm sure that doesn't help. But it doesn't take much for me to get turned off on somebody. And it doesn't matter if it's an employee, someone that I know through social contact, someone that I've met through YouTube, eBay, someone that I've helped through YouTube, whatever. But if there's enough series of things that I find it gets to the point where I just dread knowing them, I just tell them up front. And I don't think it's right to like talk bad about people when they don't have a chance to defend themselves. That's why I don't go on and say, well, hey, guess what? This person isn't going to be around anymore. I think they're a big jack off. I just, I don't want that to happen. It's not cool when you would ban someone and they can't defend themselves. That's just dirty pool. But things come up and I'm just upfront with people and I say, hey, look, I really don't want to associate with you anymore. And I've learned over probably the last 10 years that I'm not going to go into an explanation why. It's just a personal decision. I could be totally wrong, but I just tell them straight out. I just really don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. Good luck to you. I wish the best for you. Nice knowing you. I'm not going to badmouth you behind your back, but I think it's time we go our own separate ways. And I did that a couple days ago. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't think it's some big honor that somebody can be on a YouTube channel. But it just gets to the point where when I see someone's name pop up on a text or a phone call or a YouTube comment, and I think, oh, God damn it again, it just doesn't make any sense to do it any longer. Yeah, the yellow-headed blackbird. Actually, I've looked for those. They're supposed to be down around that wildlife refuge I go to in Pinconning. A yellow-headed blackbird, man, you're lucky. Did you get any photos of them? Yeah, they actually head south for the winter, but there's supposed to be a group of them over there around Pinconning, and I've never seen one. Yeah, and I'm not into drama. I don't want, there's certain people, and you know who they are. Drama is the central focus of their life. Their channels revolve around it. It's always some kind of trouble and fake IDs and blah, blah, blah. Not happening here. It's a public channel, public access channel that's private. Like I said, if I had to work with some of these people or they were my neighbor, I would just have to act like I liked them when I didn't. I think that's the kind of stress that depresses you. So I'm at a luxury, and I could be wrong sometimes. Maybe I should ban myself. I mean, I'm not saying that's impossible, but I can only go with what I know. And when the drama or someone, what I think gets a lot of people, there's after you've been around a while and you're kind of do the things I do, you have contact with a lot of people. So you and I could know each other, and I know 30 people that know about you and know what you're up to, and I know other people that you contact other than me. So I got a lot of sources to figure out if it's a bunch of bullshit or it's the truth. And when I can see both sides are getting played, or it's drama, or you're hitting people up for money under false pretenses, it's time for you to hit the road. When I was coming out here, what I do is I'm a late night guy. I mentioned this the other day, and I think anybody that I at least know now and knows this, and I tell him not to take it personally. But I'm like a loner guy, but mainly it's because of my schedule. There are people that want to get together and hang out and do this, and I'm just not one of those guys. I don't mind doing it once in a while, but like I said, it takes me out of my daily routine. I stay up late, I go to bed around 2, 3, charge my batteries, upload my video, and sleep till around 10 or 11. Then I lay in bed, answer my messages, take a shower, hit the road by about quarter to noon, then I head out to the park. So my day isn't really starting until 12 or 1. Like today, I'm going to go to Lansing, check out the Barnes & Noble, and then I'm going to head south to Hillsdale and just look for things that interest me. So I probably won't get back to my room till like 10, 11, and then it starts all over again. And if I've got to come back to meet somebody, it just messes up my day. I'm back 5 hours earlier than I want to be and eating when I'm most likely not even going to be hungry. So for the people that want to get together and text and email and stuff, don't take it personally. I've been this way my whole life. I treated my wife like that too, which is why I'm probably not with her anymore. Hey, dang. But I think if you look at the chats generally and you look at the people that contribute to the comments, I get rid of all drama. I get rid of all. I don't want anybody saying negative comments about people that are already down in the hole with working as a prostitute and being drug addicted. It's not happening. Here's another thing too. These women, almost everybody I cross paths with, other than Marguerite, has a cell phone. And I know that they're interested in the comments that people make about them. I don't want them reading derogatory, nasty, negative comments about them themselves. So I get rid of them when I find them. Occasionally some slip through that I don't know about. But I just don't want it to be that way. I mean, like, I don't want to talk bad about somebody that's blocked, that can't defend themselves. There's no reason why somebody that is a prostitute, that has a drug problem, should be talked down to. Anybody, really, homeless, it's just not cool. I don't think like I'm a better guy for thinking this way. I think probably everybody that's listening now is that way. I just don't want to have that. You know, but we've got a really good group of people. I've got excellent moderators, and that doesn't come by just uploading videos. I mean, I feel really so grateful that I've crossed paths with so many of these people, that you just kind of get to know them, like Frisky and Rita, through, you know, a YouTube channel and the way they respond to questions, their attitude on things. Are you catching them on other channels, bad mouthing you and starting drama? And when you get to this point where people have been around for a long time, like Superwoman, I've never talked to her on the phone. We've never emailed back and forth. I think she's been a moderator for maybe 6 years or so. She comes in, sometimes she'll be gone for 6 months, delete a bunch of negative comments, and it's just a great place that I'm at right now with it. Everything. It is. Great moderators. It's like you'll get a crackpot here and there, but not really that often. Yeah, I like Texas. I haven't been out there in a long time. Yeah, I just don't think it's cool, man. I mean, you know, I will make a comment once in a while, but it's like, yeah, it's just like dirty pool. I found the best course of action. You know, at least I'm talking about from my experience. When you first start out in YouTube, you know, everybody they went out of their way to cause me a lot of problems, calling like murder hotlines. You know, $10,000 reward. They're calling them up and telling that I'm killing prostitutes, and then I'm running over these girls. They'll go on Facebook and track down a girl that I've interviewed and contact their family, start telling all their estranged relatives that I'm a serial killer. They've called my neighbors. They've had me swatted. You name it, they've done it. You learn a lot, man. You learn a lot through YouTube, even if it's only from the analytics. You learn why the world works the way it does. I could just, you know, you know what you get attention from. See, I mean, I can say this now, but and you guys know this if you've been around a while. 99% of my videos nobody gives two shits about, but it's the same as it was when I started. And I thought way back when, not to mention that COVID numbers are through the roof in Wayne County right now, but I know that if I interview Maddie, it's going to be a popular video. I know if I go and see Marguerite and Becky again, and it's almost like those videos got too popular for a while. I've never been into like thumbs up, like, share, none of that stuff. And I just didn't really like want that, to be honest with you. You know I could keep going back to the well, but it's really not about it. These videos I've been uploading for the last few weeks, nobody really watches them, but I really enjoy doing it. You know, I go with like what interests me, not what garners a lot of YouTube attention. And as far as the views and the subscribers, it's like something that I can't help. I don't know why people watch them like they do, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's another couple dogs over there, guys running. Yeah, I love the blue ice. That was a lot of fun, man. I froze my ass off on that first one. You know, some do-gooder wanted to take a picture with me, which I could care less about, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I let him do it. That day, man, I froze my damn ass off. No, that's so true. The light bulb never goes on. And if you look at some of these problem channels and you look at their lives, they're not capable of changing. Their channel is based off criticizing channels like mine. They don't work, they don't drive, they don't have cars, they're older, they have children that are a little off, they live with their parents. You're not finding any super successful people or people that you would want to be in their shoes really doing shit, and they all kind of get capped off early. So my point here is like I've backed off like a lot of the Detroit interviews for a lot of reasons, and I kind of thought that these channels would die if I quit doing those for a while, and sure as shit, they've died. They've got nothing to talk about. See you, Kathy. Yeah, it'll get you 1,000 subscribers earlier than you get them by putting up legitimate videos, but they pretty much cap off at that. If you look at, I get screenshots sent to me, which you don't need to do. I don't care, of some of the chats on some of these people, and most of these people that are on these channels have been kicked off of everyone else's. You'll find 5 miserable, lonely, troublemaking people chatting at all hours of the night, talking about stupid stuff. You think it's like drunk teenagers. Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, that'll happen with Maddie and Gerald. You know, you'll notice racism is alive and well. There's just a X amount of people out there that can't stand the thought of Maddie being with a black guy, and that somehow, because that's occurring, that it must be against her own volition, which is false. To me, what I know, they have the same relationship anybody else does. I mean, a lot of the people criticizing them are divorced. They're still together. Maybe that's what's pissing you off. And everybody has an idea what they think helping would mean, which I've tried to explain based on my experience before. Believe me, nobody be happier than me to see them get out of where they're at, but they don't seem to want to. And you think, why? You beat your head against the wall. I don't know why. They're both very personable people. They could be salespeople for anywhere and do well. But, you know, drug addiction, giving up along the way mentally, low self-esteem. It's an odd combination of things. If you interview 100 people, there's similarities, but the minute details are different from one person to another. It's a bitch. And honestly, like, Maddie and Gerald, I mean, kind of what happened with them, I'm happy for. I've told everybody from the very beginning, hey man, you don't need to go through me. I've offered to take photos for them that they can use on their channel, put links to your channel on my videos, no problem. I'm more than willing to help anybody who's trying to start their own channel. I'm not trying to have everything come through me like a, record producer would. And in that regard, I'm happy for Maddie and Gerald. They don't really need me for anything else. People know about them. They got, 10, 11,000 subscribers. And then it's up to them what they do with it. It's a philosophical issue on whether or not you agree with what people do for them. But a lot of times you'll find that these people that sometimes claim they want to help, they want to control their lives. And under the ruse of goodness, they want to dictate, if they give them money, what they should do with it. There's strings attached. And, here you are trying to help them get off drugs, but you're going to command to them what they're going to do in their daily lives based on you giving them money. Hey, Jody. Oh, really, Dank? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just tough to, get out of that hole. I mean, Kim's kind of going through that now. I mean, rehab's great. Getting off drugs is just, believe it or not, like a small part of the problem. Getting a job, rent is ridiculously expensive. There's a guy I know that's a financial planner that kind of helped a girl get out of stripping. And in his mind, let's consider before she quit stripping, she ended up getting a job at Amazon, and it pays $17 an hour, and he's a financial planner. And he sat down, spent time with her, and got a calculator, and he said, even at $17 an hour, it's so much easier to be a stripper for 4 hours a night, 4 days a week, than it is to have a responsible full-time job where you work like a dog and you make $17 an hour. Now you can say, well, $17 is plenty. Well, okay, that's debatable, right? But when you have a car, an old car, you're paying crazy rent. Everybody knows what food costs. You've got insurance. You like decent things. He's realized that in order for her to live alone, $17 isn't enough. So, I mean, when you have these addiction problems and you get caught up in this sex stuff and drugs, people wonder why they don't get out of it. Well, there's an example for you. Because it's not an equal trade. It's not being depressed and not liking what you're doing for security and a nice lifestyle. A better lifestyle comes with doing stuff that you don't like as much. It's really a conundrum. It's a bitch. So nobody can figure out why people go back to doing the things they do. I've met strippers in my life, and some of them are really bright, intelligent, well-read people. And they just kind of get lost. And deep down, their emotions get squashed. They don't want relationships. They look at men as just lying, conniving pigs. And they have a cat and a couple rescue dogs, and they move 1,000 miles away where they can strip and nobody knows them. And they spend their days getting coffees at Barnes and Nobles, talking to a person or two they know outside the stripping world, up until they hit an older age and nobody wants them as a stripper anymore. Then they move off to the full-time clerk at Walmart, maybe cleaning a few houses on the side. These are the older women that you see living in rooms in cities where rent is cheap. that are just alone until they meet the old Grim Reaper. Yeah, you're right, Jody. Yeah, I mean, life just like creeps up on them. You know, there's a time limit for everything. You know, when you're young and attractive and popular, and you don't realize at the time that, I mean, you know it's not going to last forever, but you don't understand it in a real way. Then you just like slowly age. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that you should lock up into a marriage early on because your options are going to go down? Well, your options will go down. There's nothing like the high school years and the college years, if that's what interests you and you're looking for a mate to have a family with and stuff. Because once you get out of that college realm, and then once you get into your 30s and 40s, especially your 40s and your 50s, forget it. You stand a better chance of winning the Mega Millions than you do feeling like you did when you were 17 when you met somebody you were attracted to. It's not the same. Yeah, it's a pit, but looks like a pit lab mix. And there's another one that's a boxer. Yeah, well, it's been my pleasure just observing this by being around. Nobody can tell you anything. You have to experience it. And in a messed up way, I don't even know if it's messed up. See, I want to quantify what I think compared to what Becky thinks. But I kind of get it with her. You know, you wish better for him. It almost seems like a default mechanism in the way a human thinks. And with Becky, she doesn't want what you think she would want. She likes that lifestyle, as crazy as it sounds. And she says just being a housewife, it just bore her to tears, and having kids wasn't what she thought it would be. And for the people out there that criticize these people that have kids and you need to be with your children, that is absolutely false. At least in the people that I know, you don't know what you're talking about. Including Maddie. Those kids are doing 1,000 times better than they would in their parents' presence. How in the hell is she going to be by her kid as an active working girl with a drug addiction? It's just nuts. You're just coming up with this Disney logic, and it's not valid. These kids are way better off without their parents in their lives. Big time. Yeah, congratulations, unless that's not what you wanted. Well put. So, I mean, giving up is easy. Hey, Terry. We're just taking it easy. I was going to go to Lansing today, but now I'm kind of debating that. I'm going to cut down through Hillsdale. You know, when I was leaving this morning, I head out Michigan Avenue. I get a coffee at Big B, and then I head west. Looks like there was a shooting. I did get some video clips, but the cops had got there. There was a big-ass pit bull running around. There was a lady in a hijab, Muslim lady running around frantic. There were about 5 cop cars there. And all these cops were running around. I couldn't tell what they were doing. But pretty soon they started taking the yellow tape and, you know, running around a vacant house and kind of like a large area. Now, no ambulances were called or anything. I really don't know. I'll upload the video later. You're going to think, well, what the hell is this about? I don't know. And I hung around for a little while, but I don't know what was going on. And anybody that cuts across Michigan Avenue like I do, they've really been working traffic there big time. There's an Inkster cop in an old Crown Victoria that's black, and it's only 40 there, right where Inkster meets Wayne, and they've been writing tickets up the yin yang. You know, these police departments now, because the tax base is dipped, and in Michigan you can only raise the property tax up so much. These communities are funding their police departments in part, by the amount of tickets they write. If you look at Huron Township, they're basically out there on 275 writing tickets all day long. And it looks like Inkster may be tapping the old well for that as well. I gotta get Daisy another bag of her favorite Chewies today. You know, the only Chewy Daisy really likes, you get them at Walmart. You can buy a big bag, it's $15. I'd be better off broiling her filet mignon. It's this little thin stick of rawhide, and it's got lamb, beef, and chicken on it. Looks like shish kebab, kind of like for dogs. She's actually awakened me for one of those before. She must get thinking. She really likes them big time. I don't like to tease her, but once in a while I do. I take one and I show her through the window. Yeah, same result. You're right, Frisky. Yeah, not that much. She doesn't like those big. I've tried, once in a while I'll be someplace and get her something. She'll just put it in her mouth and drop it and stare at me. AV3. Hey, Marianne. Oh, sorry about that, lady. Yeah, like I say, I think it's all hormone based. You're young and you have your first romances, man. I haven't duplicated that feeling ever since. You do all sorts of crazy shit. You really believe it's real. I mean, I don't think it's any big, great fathom, any big, giant jump from animals to human beings. Not really. It's basically all the same stuff. Just think how different the human race would be if they just allowed nature to take its course and only the fittest survive. If you were going on a 100-mile walk every day, you'd get to a point where you couldn't do it. That's your problem. That's why there's such a strong gene pool. And when you see a robin perching on a branch, he's not like a Down syndrome robin, because the baby robins that were born that way died. The mother ignored them. Every bird you see is healthy looking because the parents recognize there's something's off and they just let them die, move on to healthier offspring. Hey, Shaniqua. How you been? How's work going? Hey, Kimbers. Oh, are you laid off? Was that just because they couldn't get parts or something, or lack of sales, or what caused it, do you know? Yeah, I'd say it's okay food, average food. I got a good pizza down in Detroit Beach yesterday, down near Monroe. Detroit Beach Pizzeria. Excellent pizza, $15 for a giant one. Little like brick building. Looks like it's been there 10,000 years. Inside dining closed. If you're around southeast Michigan, get down around that Newport, Estral Beach area, Berlin Township. I mean, I was fooling around down there as a teenager. It hasn't changed one bit. Oh, electric chip shortage. Yeah, I know that processors for computers are hard to get. And they're selling on the black market for like crazy retail. Well, I noticed, I'm about ready to upgrade my video camera, and nobody's coming out with new ones. I got an idea of these bean counters, between people using cell phones and all sorts of other things. I think the piece of pie has gotten so small with good recorders that nobody's spending the R&D to come up with them, and they don't sell enough of them. Hey Jay, how you doing? No, I was planning on Lansing today, but I'm iffy on that now. I'm iffy. I might not, because I was gonna go there and Barnes and Noble. There's a good, excellent. I had a girlfriend up at Michigan State, like from '77 to '79. There's a place called Elez Taco. It's owned by Greeks now, and they've moved a couple times. But I don't normally get burritos, but I get them there. So good. I was gonna get that, and then go to the Barnes and Noble, and then head south down around Hillsdale, Albion. Cut across. Oh, I've never had that. How's your daughter doing, Jay? But I'm thinking about not doing it now. Actually, it's going to be crappy weather here Tuesday and Wednesday, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Like yesterday, I spent a lot of time reading about sound engineering and these settings on this recorder. I'm telling you, man, sound is not easy. And as crazy as this sounds, I've learned in messing around with this high resolution sound that I know this already, but if you're into like photography and you're into like sound engineering and recordings, I know this sounds stupid, but it just makes me think. Like, I'm not a religious guy, but when I look at what my eyes do all day long, every day, all night long, every night, and if my eyes were in a camera shop, they'd be $1 million each. That's how fantastic and unbelievable the living tissue of an eyeball is and what it does. When you try and look at what cameras do and what you pay for them and what your eye does, it'd be $1 million. And I've realized that my ears, what my brain does and the sounds that it cancels out, because like I said, there's no such thing as silence. And mechanical recording is a different way of recording sound than what your ears hear. It's complicated. But when you start messing around with it, I realize now that if you took my expensive condenser microphones and you replaced them and you put them in my ears, I would go crazy, because there's no brain to filter out all this bullshit. You'd be surprised how noisy the wind is. If the wind is higher than 5 to 7 miles an hour, even with a dead cat, which is that furry thing you see on microphones, it sounds like you're in the middle of a hurricane. So for me to sit here and hear a bird chirp and cars go down the highway and the wind not driving me nuts and overhearing this guy's conversation and listening to these dogs bark all at once is like the mainframe computer. Your brain should be like $10 million. You don't realize what it does for you and how it does it and what it eliminates. Like artificial intelligence, it does a lot of good stuff, right? But it still can't tell you that that's a 1968 Volkswagen Beetle that's red doing 63 miles an hour in the eastbound lane. It can't do all that. But the filtering out is impressive of what your brain, it's your brain that does it. Because if you look at decibels and frequency, it's just crazy, how this all works. And then when you start thinking about how did this all evolve from nothing? Like nothing. I mean, how could you just have like ears, eyes, brain, just start from nothing one day? And here we are. It's nuts. Hey, Kevin. Here, like a couple weeks ago, another thing I think too is like birds. You saw those mute swans that I got some video on building a nest. That 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 swan never had a parent show it how to build its nest. Just the most perfect, great looking nest. Like the other couple weeks ago, I was in Ypsilanti when I got that red-tailed hawk killing that squirrel. This damn red-tailed hawk is choking the squirrel to death. I didn't get that on film, but I could see it. It's choking the squirrel to death while it's sitting on top of a rail looking around, making sure nothing sneaks up on it. Doing talk about multitasking. And then it flies away with the squirrel, taking it someplace. And when you look at what you have to go through to make something fly, I mean, we do great technology, fighter jets, drones, everything, right? But when you look at a red-tailed hawk weaving in and out of branches and not dinging his wings and chasing something that's trying to get the hell away from him, that is so complex. It's unbelievable. The nervous system that requires. Even a Dan Siegel, which is a beautiful flyer, flies around, sees something, that gets down, walks around, gets tired of that, and then floats while it paddles around with the same feet it was walking around with. It's nuts. Sushi's good. Boy, the birds are really full tilt singing. Right now they kind of quieted up a little bit, but in the morning, I said I had this recorder, and I realized that because my brain's filtering out all this stuff, that I had to get a pair of headphones. When I put this good pair of headphones on with this good recorder, it's noise canceling too, so it cancels out all the ambient sound. And all I'm listening is what I'm looking for, like bird singing. Like right now, you wouldn't hear anything. I put this on and turn these headphones on. It sounds like the birds are screaming right into my ear. I have to turn it down. No, the camera can't do it. That's why you need Photoshop. It's not to make it better than it's looked. It's to try to get it look like it did through your eyes, which is damn near impossible. Yeah, he's choking it to death probably. That's what they do. I told you I worked at a wildlife rehab where I got to hand feed some eagles that were injured. And you'd think that big beak, they'd just be trying to eat your eyes out of your skull. They're not. They do try to stand up on your arm, so you don't want them clutching those talons into your forearm. But once you protect your arm and you can pet them on the head, they make this cooing sound, like a pigeon. It isn't exactly what you would think. Another thing I learned is red fox. You'd be surprised how light these things are. And when they bite you, they can't even bite hard. Hardly at all. We would have cloth gloves, and that was good enough. Now they'll pull and tear, which is how they tear, birds apart and stuff. But they can't bite hard like you'd think they would. Yeah, eagles are huge birds. They seem like an alligator to me, like they're on autopilot. You know, you're not going to get an emotional reaction out of an eagle. They're always like kind of like looking both ways, looking up, looking down. You know, they're not cuddling up to you. And another thing that's surprising too that I learned working there, I hand fed some rats to some injured owls. You see an owl, you see those big eyes and those big ears, and they're just cute. When they open their mouth, you know, they swallow their food whole. Their mouth is huge, giant. Chimpanzees are highly dangerous, big time. They'll pull your arm off and beat you with it. You know, it's funny. I was talking to a guy here the other day, and he was telling me on this other park over here, the one across the street, that they do these owl walks at night, and that they play recorders. The naturalists, the people that take them on these tours, play recorders. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you go up and watch the Kirtland warbler, Kirtland, which is not far from me, it's the world's rarest warbler. They've actually done an excellent job of bringing them back. But if a federal fish and game guy catches you playing any audio during breeding season of a Kirtland warbler, you're going to get a ticket and a half. It's a violation. It's called wildlife harassment. Yeah, the federal government, just like marijuana, seems in this instance to look at bird calling apparatuses much different than the state does. Oh, do you, Frank? Cool. Yeah, Kirtland, yep. Kirt. Named after a doctor in Ohio, Kirt. Kirtland warbler. No, I've read that before, Susan. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I just, you know, I mean, like I got nailed for a $300 ticket in Glacier National Park for having a recording device in a moving vehicle. It's not illegal in the state. Now, the guy told me, he gave me a break. I don't know if he did or he didn't. He told me actually that's considered a dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, and it required an arraignment that I'd need to come back. Can you believe that shit? I said, oh, that's great, man. I said, here's how the whole thing went. So he pulls me over. He said, do you know I'm pulling you over? I said, no, I don't. He said, you had a recording device in your hand. I said, yeah, a camera. I said, but I wasn't like looking through it. I was holding it just like I would do with a cup of coffee. It wasn't like, you didn't observe any erratic driving, did you? He said, no, I don't need to. You're not supposed to have a recording device while you're driving. I said, well, I didn't know about that. He said, well, you should have researched it. I said, well, I probably should have, but welcome to Glacier National Park, huh? He said, now, if you'll be honest with me, maybe we can work something. I said, I'm going to be honest with you, but I know how that works. It's legal for you to even lie to me, but we won't get into that. I'm going to be honest with you because I know that I'm going to get a ticket. And it's not worth it for a ticket for me to lie to you about this stupid bullshit. He said, can we get going? I said, sure. Let's start right now. He says, how long have you been recording? I said, I've been recording since I got here. He said, well, how long's that been? I said, it's been about an hour. He said, that is absolutely egregious. I said, no, it isn't absolutely egregious. He said, you're going to argue with me now, now? I said, no, I'm not arguing with you at all, but it's not egregious, which is why it's not illegal in other places other than this place. I said, do you pull people over for drinking a coffee in their hand? He said, no. I said, well, what's the difference? I wasn't looking through the viewfinder. He said, I don't make the law. I said, I know you don't make the law, but I'm pretty sure when you decided to get into law enforcement that you thought you'd be enforcing the law and making the world a safer place, and that what I did is not in any way unsafe. It's a moneymaker. Did you see, as long as we're going to use egregious, any out of the ordinary driving? Because if you did, let's just skip this ticket for this camera and write me for careless or reckless driving. And the reason that you don't want to write me for that, because there was none. I said, when you pick up your microphone and you run a plate, and you call it into the station, or you drink your cop when you're driving around, do you think you're putting anybody's life at danger? When you're looking at a GPS, when you're looking at your gas gauge, your speedometer? He said, no. I said, neither do I. So this notion that I'm getting a ticket for doing something dangerous is false. And it certainly isn't egregious in any way. Egregious is getting fined $300 for this bullshit. So there's like a 30 seconds of silence. And he says, well, what would you do in my position? I said, well, I'd probably write a ticket, because this morning when you had roll call, that's what they told you to do, and you're only doing your job. It's not your fault. But I think it's bullshit. So when you go home tonight and you fall asleep and you think that you're making the park a better place because you're enforcing the law, I want you to know that you're not. This is a money-making game. You should have just charged me $300 to get in instead of making up this kind of crazy shit. If it was truly a crime, it'd be illegal wherever you go, and it's not. He said, well, he said, I'll tell you what. How about if I give you a ticket for this? It's like I said, well, what's that? He said, it's $300. It's not going to go on your driving record. And he said, I don't know if you know this or not, but driving a vehicle in an unlawful manner in a federal park requires an arraignment. I said, so you're saying I'm going to get this ticket and I got to come out here and be arraigned and then come back again? Like $10,000 in airplane tickets. You know, you know how it is when you go to these places like Kalispell, Montana with no notice. He said, once again, I didn't make those policies. I said, oh, well, what's this one? He said, I'm just going to give you this ticket. You're going to pay it. And no points on your record. I said, well, give me it then. Give me that. I appreciate it. I said, it's hard for me to, want to give you a big hug that I'm getting a big break, but okay, let's just go on, man. He said, well, I appreciate you being honest with me. I said, well, of course you do, man. It put the cherry on the top. I admitted to what you pulled me over for, and you got me by the balls. And I'm sure this is all being recorded, but that's okay. Hey, I learned a lesson. Next time I come out here, I won't be having a recorded device, so you win. So we get talking and kind of find out he's from Ann Arbor. But you know what, though? Here's the strange thing about this. I liked the guy. We got along. We talked about the Astrovan. He made a scenario like, what would I do if I had a camera on driving down I-75 going to Detroit? I said, I do it all the time. It's not illegal. I said, by the way, how do you know about I-75? And that's how we got into the discussion where he grew up. But here's the weird thing. He said, I went to the University of Michigan. I said, oh, really? What'd you get a degree in? He said, criminal justice. Well, you know what? The University of Michigan doesn't have a criminal justice degree. They don't. Never have. Eastern Michigan does, because I have one. So, you see what I mean? Just one of these are like dating sites. You just find a little chink in the armor that isn't truthful, and you gotta wonder what else they said to you that was maybe bullshit. Maybe, Jody, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you just, it's the old adage, a cop pulls you over and says, do you know why I pulled you over? And you say, no, I don't. He says, you're lying. He pulls you over again. He said, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, yes, I do. He said, now you know why you're getting a ticket. Oh, really, Susan? No kidding. Susan, what do you think overall of your health system? I mean, people say it's free. It isn't free because I know what you pay in income tax. But that aside, how do what's your opinion of the Canadian health system other than this glitch you're going through right now? Yeah, you'll answer if they pull you over. If you don't, you're getting a ticket. See, you never know how it's going to go. So if it's something of a criminal nature, I'm not answering. I've told cops that before. They come up to you, and it's been upheld all the way to the Supreme Court at both the state and national level that cops are allowed to lie. I mean, a cop could come up to you and they'll try to get you talking some kind of way. It's like, we know that you didn't mean to do this. You seem like a pretty good guy, If you just cooperate with us, yeah, you're going to get your ass handed to you. I've told cops before, I'm not, here's my ID. This is me. That's the end of the questions that I'm answering. And in the heat of the moment, when you're pulled over or you're in a situation where there's a bunch of cops around and you don't know the system, it makes it seem so much easier to cooperate, but that's what's going to get the charges to stick. I'm not dotting the I's and crossing the T's of my own arrest. Not happening. Yeah, there's a good guy. He was a Harvard Law School grad about pleading the fifth. He's a law school professor out in one of those East Coast law schools. Excellent. He really spells it out perfectly. I can't think of his name. It's got like 10 trillion views. It's really good. And it's about keeping your mouth shut. That's the biggest ace you have in the hole, is remaining silent. What they don't tell you is it just takes beach ball sized balls to do it under certain circumstances. Cops can ask you anything they want, but you don't have to answer. You get pulled over, you're trying to be equitable and you don't want it rammed up your ass, so the cop pulls you over. It's like, hey, you know why I pulled you over? No, not really. Yeah, you were speeding. No, okay, sorry about that. Can I get a break? He said, where are you going? It's like, that's none of your fucking business. Well, do you think you're going to get a break? So you're always juggling these balls in the air where you want to be respectful. You don't want to be a jerk. But most of the time, it's going to put the cherry on the top for them, not you. Hey, Tom. It's a cute little dog you got. Daisy, yeah, thanks. Great. Let's cut the small talk. Well, where's this going? Well, you were doing 85 and a 65. It's like, yeah. In a hurry to get somewhere, huh? It's like, no, I wasn't. I just happened to be doing 85 and a 65. Not in a hurry to get anywhere. I've had my run-ins with cops, believe me. Overall, it's been a good experience, and I'm not a cop hater. I think we need them. But I have definitely had some run-ins with cops, and it has come to that with me before. So I can tell you this from experience. It's like, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to see Mary up in Traverse City. She's got some mushrooms, and we're going to swallow them and just sit out and look at Lake Michigan till they wear off. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, where are you going? It's like, I'm not telling you. Yeah, usually going in with no attorney is a big disaster. And when I got in my trouble about 4 years ago, I represented myself. And here's one word of advice. I've done this a lot. I've filed a lot of lawsuits of my own too. But what I've learned is the last thing you want to do is come across that you're smarter than them and you don't need an attorney, because they will hand your ass to you. I've been on the inside of these meetings before with prosecutors that I've been friends with. And once a cop says, this Tom Reed is a real jack-off, do not give him any breaks. You're going to wonder why they're not willing to plea bargain with you. That's because that cop that you cross paths with says you're a big asshole, and the prosecutor took it at face value. I always tried to do it, but what I did do is I know every dirty trick in the book. It's not a dirty trick. I file every motion I can. I drive them nuts with Freedom of Information Act requests. I go crazy with subpoenas and discovery. Before you know it, we're nowhere near going to trial, and I've worn their ass out with requests and motions. I've had judges accuse me before of using the legal system as a form of harassment. It's like, I'm using the legal system as a form of harassment. You're the ones that charged me with this horse shit. So, but generally, and if I had a serious crime, there's no way I'd represent myself. And in a civil case, I don't care, because I can tie you up in court for 3 or 4 years and cost you 25 grand in legal fees before we're even talking settlement or going to trial. Hey Philip, how you doing? Did you take those GoPros down? Hey Kimbers. Yeah, you never know the outcome. I mean, look at OJ. Look at Casey Anthony in Florida. As it turned out, the jury was mainly composed of cop haters that didn't like cops, and after the second day of testimony, even though it lasted 9 months, whatever experts they had, it was all on deaf ears. They didn't give a shit. I always had kind of an interest in it, and even though I did PI work my whole life, it was the civil aspect, not the criminal. But I always I'm that way with science too. Followed cases, looked at case law. I'll tell you the big thing, the huge thing. This is how Dr. Phil, he was actually doing pretty well before Oprah put him on the map. And when she badmouthed the cattle industry, I think it was Texas, over beef, and there was she was sued. She met him as a jury consultant. Jury consulting is huge. That's your get out of jail free card. Who are these jurors and what are they up to and where are they coming from? It is so important, the people that get on your jury. And he made a living at it. Hey, Air Cold. Yeah, if you don't, if you've got stuff in your car, don't ever consent to a search. See, now in a lot of states, Michigan included, you can't use the smell of marijuana as probable cause, which was a huge iron in the fire. And sometimes the cop's a dick, and you're getting a ticket anyway, even if I don't have anything in the car that I shouldn't. He said, "Would you mind if I search your car?" It's like, yeah, I would. I don't want you doing it. It's like, can I ask why? It's like, it's none of your business. I got a big dildo in there I'm taking up north to a girlfriend of mine. That's why. I don't want you stealing it. Things will go downhill in a hurry. Hey, Shonda. Yeah, it will go down. Even I got that stupid ticket for Daisy on my lap. Not only did I have a fucked up moron, idiot of a cop, I had even a dumber, rude, old school Dago that thought he was Jesus Christ that treated me worse. So I got a double fucking on that one. I did get out of it through negotiating with the prosecutor and getting it approved by a gentleman who happened to be the 2nd district judge down there in the 23rd district court. But that other old guy was a complete incompetent, loudmouth asshole that should have never been a judge. So I got a double fucking on that one. Shouldn't have been pulled over and then got my ass handed to me for the wrong reasons. But I got out of it. But not the way I should have. Well, you know, law enforcement's a moneymaker. She's part Shih Tzu, I think, but not all of it. And her hair's different. And she's got a big, huge, muscular jaw, big front chest and feet and little butt, big, thick, huge neck. I mean, she takes a collar the size of a 50-pound dog. Daisy is she's 7 or 8. I think she's 8 this summer. Daisy, you 8, hon? You 8, honey? It's like the greatest dog ever. Big time. You couldn't ask for a better traveling companion. Just fits in perfect. Sleeps like a log all night. I didn't realize till I was down there in Hilton Head that she goes crazy when I think she goes crazy if I leave her with other people. I was kind of surprised at that. The husband and the wife called me and said, hey, you got to come get this dog, man. She's, snippy with us. We can't console her. So and I was kind of surprised, but I don't think she's like that when she's alone. They had friendly dogs and they'd jump up in the bed in the morning and she didn't attack them. Because I know she knows that that's not cool, but I guarantee she hated it. I think that was a lot of stress for her. I thought she'd really like going down to the beach, but there was like these, they call them sand spurs. They get in her feet, and after 2 trips to the beach, she said, screw this. If she doesn't want to go somewhere, she'll sit down and make you drag her. So she was glad to get out of Hilton Head. Yeah, probably right, Faye. Oh, really? Or cool. Well, that's what they gave that chimp when it tore the lady's face off, a Xanax. Hey, intellectual, what do you know about them shutting the Walmart down? I was told this morning they shut it down for health violations. And they don't know when it's going to reopen. Do you don't have any info on that? Oh, cool. Oh, it was down. Was it due to COVID and the employees, or just COVID in general and for everybody? I haven't seen Melissa. I don't know what she's up to. I go by there and nobody's out there. Oh, gotcha. Employees. Okay. Now, I was told they were shut down by the health department. Is that true? Or did they shut themselves down? And are they closed now, and when are they going to open? You're right, Frisky. Who was held 3 hours at 2 a.m., Mary? Who was? Well, you want to get out. Daisy's ready to go. When do you want to get going? Want to hit the road? Go bye-bye? See, I'm pretty sure she wants to get going because she wants to sit on the dash and it's getting too hot. And I'm not moving. So, see, she's already making noises. You want to go bye-bye? Want to get out of here? Want to go bye-bye? All right, we go bye-bye. Yeah, she wants to get out of here. All right, go ahead. Go on. Go on. Wants air coming through the window. Yeah, she's ready to go. It's because it's too hot on the dash and she doesn't want to sit on the seat. I don't know what Daisy is. She's kind of got like poodle straight hair. I mean, I really don't know. Like I said, I would have got the DNA test, but it's not that accurate. The hell good is it if there's a 25% error? Here they are sending people away to prison for the rest of their lives on DNA, and they can't even tell me what kind of dog I have. Makes you wonder. Yeah, she's really easy to read. She'll let you know one way or the other. Yeah, you're right, sweet tea. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she will. Yep. These bikes have the right of way. Let's see if this truck stops. Yeah, he did. Good. Hey, Kyle. Oh, really? Yeah, Yorkie poodle mix, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I flip-flop back and forth on it. I don't really know. I mean, she's got a thick neck and a real thick torso. Real big feet. I forgot one of my SD cards today. Left it in my damn card reader. I got enough cameras so I can swap them out. That's a good question on the Mormon. That's a good question. I doubt it. I don't think so. I'm 65. Feel every bit of it. Nah, I haven't going to Leon's that much. I'm kind of sick of eating everywhere that I go. Nothing's that great. Yeah, Morels and the bad ones, the one that make it, it's really easy. I forget how it is, like under the stem, whether it's connected or not. It's pretty easy. I knew how to do it one time, but I mean, I like nature, birds. I mean, people would go crazy if they spent the time I do fooling around with photography. But I like it. But as far as hunting mushrooms, not happening. It's too boring. They do taste good. We'll give you that. But if I'm out there, I like looking at other things, not for mushrooms. You know, crazy, that building that I own downtown that I finally sold across from the post office. You know, in a typical neighborhood up north, they had morel mushrooms growing in it. But the lady that lived there before was a real nature nut, so I'm sure some of the spores had dropped off along the way, and that's how they got there. There'd be like 10, 12 of them every spring. Right out in the middle of nowhere, not near a tree, anything. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday crazy. I don't care. I like it when I get bad weather because it's the only thing that keeps me home. I catch up on my reading and clean off all my equipment and read some more articles. And like yesterday, I read a lot about sound, about 4 hours on audio recording, which I just hate doing. But the bad weather keeps me inside. And I kind of rest up, even though I seem to get a decent night's sleep every night. I don't think I do. Nothing like a day off, just doing nothing. I don't know. I think it's just all the data coming through your eyes when you're driving. I'm not sure, but I know when I stay home a whole day in the hotel, I feel a hell of a lot better than the next day, even if I got what I thought seemed like a nice night of sleep. Yeah, it's a really good dog. I've been lucky with dogs. I've had some great dogs, almost all of them. I had two miniature greyhounds before I had Daisy. If you look at my avatar, they were two males. They were kind of rejects, too big or bad bone structure. So I got them cheap. But they were, I mean, you know, I love those dogs in a certain way, but not like I did Daisy. They were a pain in the ass. If there's a health problem that's going to go wrong with them, it's them skittish. Oh my God. You look at them wrong and they'll be under the bed for a week. The one wouldn't even would hide under the seat of a car for a full year. And they died within 3 months of each other. 11 and almost 12 years old. That kind of selective breeding genetically, it's a true miniature greyhound. They've actually shrunk the greyhound down to that small, and bad things happen, and they were prime examples of it. They were rescues, both of them, but they were a pain in the ass. Housebreaking was damn near impossible. I ended up tiling my whole condo because of them. Oh, thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. You know, I've been driving by there, and I'm telling you, it's just dead out. I mean, last year in October and later, I spent 2 months looking to give away the stuff that had been sent to me. I still have it. So I think that kind of burnt me out. So when I go through Detroit in the morning and half the time in the evening at the end of my day, if I don't see anybody, I'm not hanging around there all day long getting nothing done. And like I said, I know other people down there for different reasons, hand out lunches and clothes and whatever. and they said the same thing, super dead. A lot of these people are getting stimulus money. They don't need to be out hustling, and that's why you don't see them. So I will. I'm not like trying not to. I just checked in for another week. You know, I haven't been home in like a month and a half, something like that. It doesn't make sense for me to go home. There's nothing to do there. Now that the Walmart's closed, I'm really screwed. So I'm not going home. Here I got all these photo opportunities and better restaurants, so that looks like it's coming to a close. More different Barnes and Nobles. See you, Philip. Yeah, there's a lot more to do down here. I have the world's slowest, I know I upload a lot of stuff that people aren't interested in, but I'm uploading it for me, and if you like it, that's great. But those 50-minute videos of clouds or whatever the hell it is, GoPro, that's a 20-hour project. I'm not acting like it's some great work feat, it's not. But I've always got something uploading and processing. And over the course of 24 hours, it takes me about 20 hours to put one of those. It takes me about a half hour editing, 6 or 8 hours to process, and then another 10 to upload. So a 50-minute video, which I don't do that many of, it's about a 20-hour deal. I don't care though, because either I'm gone or I'm sleeping, but my computer is always doing something, even when I'm not there. And the reason it takes so long is because I have big 4K files and a super slow internet connection. I'm not complaining. Yeah, I mean, you guys, if you had a YouTube, which I encourage everybody to do, if you like the things that I do and the photos and stuff, absolutely, by all means, get yourself a GoPro 9. I carry mine in my pocket. It's in my pocket right now. I've got 2 extra batteries in the other pocket. I've got all my other stuff back here. And I highly recommend, if you're holding back on a YouTube channel because you're unfamiliar with cameras or you don't think you could learn, that's bullshit. I can tell you in 20 minutes how to do everything I do on a GoPro. A monkey could do it. It takes good stills. It takes excellent time lapse. It takes great night time lapse. 4K video for $500 with all the extras. I mean, really, if you ask me to value what a GoPro does compared to the other cameras I have, a GoPro ought to be about $3,500. It should be. For everything that it does, at the quality it does, it should be about $3,500. It would be worth that if you compare that to what you have to pay for other cameras and videos. No shit. Get one. You enjoy it. And get the $110 Doka pole and the $20 thing that you put on top of that. And you can do those like high videos. Looks like you have a drone, but you don't. I don't need a drone. I got a 30-foot pole. And I stick it underwater too. Now when I'm down around here, there's not that much clear water, so you don't see of it. The water's not clear, you're screwed. But you definitely get it. You have if you like, the kind of things that I do, you will get your money's worth out of a GoPro in no time. No, it's super easy, man. I can tell you on the phone how to do it. Believe me, no one hates reading manuals or learning cameras or computers than me. I do the bare minimum. And now I'm doing the same thing with audio. And the only reason I'm doing it there is because my audio sucks. I was so far outside of the box of knowing anything about it. I'd record a bird and a duck quacking and a damn crayfish mating, and I'd go home and it'd sound like you got 10 different albums playing at the same time, and it's all distorted. So it forced me to have to learn this shit. But those are the kind of things that have to happen to me for me to learn, which is why I was a shitty student. If there's not a consequence, it's not happening. So here I have all this nice stuff and I don't know how to use it. It just finally got where it pissed me off enough after spending 5 hours. You can't hear a goddamn thing. It forced me to learn it. If I was like normal, I'd have learned it before I'd have tried it. Yeah, usually when there's music connected to a video, it's for a reason. I mean, people say they like natural sounds. Well, my air conditioner doesn't work in here, so when a perfect example is that sunset going down 23 the other night. And I thought, well, I wouldn't mind hearing the wind, if the windows open. Yeah, you would. It doesn't sound like the windows open when you're riding in it. It would drive you nuts. So that's why I put music. Anytime you see music, there's a reason for it. I'm talking on the phone. The ambient sound just too aggravating. I'd rather not. Music forces me to take a lot longer. And those cloud time lapse, all I do is push the button. That's it. It takes a long time to do those though. Like you need about an hour of video to have a 1 minute time lapse. So I read my books. I usually have a camera running all the time for some reason or another, unless it's like right now a GoPro video wouldn't do you much good. Clouds aren't anything. I'm heading to Lansing. For a couple reasons. It's a good place to eat there. I haven't been in that Barnes & Noble in about 10 years. And I want to cut down through Hillsdale, Albion. Have a good day, Susan. They have a P.F. Chang's there that's usually pretty good. Oh yeah, I love this Astro van. I see gas has been creeping up. Gas is about 40 cents a gallon cheaper in Toledo. That's a lot. Yeah, I haven't been to Lansing in a long time either. I used to go there. I've been there for some beekeeping seminars and I have a pretty good stained glass place there, although I don't do that anymore. But I have no reason to go there. I don't know if there is or not, to be honest with you. No kidding, 340, wow. It's actually 243 in Toledo. I get about 400 a tank if I baby at 460. Yeah, now Michigan roads are terrible. Oh yeah, it's pretty good, 243. I usually seem to get it for like 259 if I can. I mean, I run it down to nothing all the time. I go by the odometer. It's a 24-gallon tank. You can fit really 27 in it, but I run it down to 25 gallons all the time, sometimes 26. I hate getting gas. Yeah, I like Indiana. See this Ford Road here up in Canton? That's the busiest stretch of highway in the whole state. That's where a Kia is located. That is such a busy ass road. Yeah, the cops don't pay much in Indiana. Look at Indiana state trooper pay, it's nothing. I mean, even this is busy here all the time. Well, I think I'm going to sign off here, guys. The guy that sent the $10, thank you. And if you scroll around the Melissa interviews, you'll see her sister was out there and some friends of hers that have actually went down there and picked her up a couple of times. I mean, honestly, with some of these people, I'm hoping that I don't see them and that things got better. Chelsea is an example. Sherry's a sweet person. Napaneesko, I've been down there a ton of times. I've done a lot of photography. There's a cop out here in the middle. Good luck. Well, you guys have a good Sunday today. I'll try and get on later tonight. Appreciate you checking in. You too. Yeah, sure, sweetheart. All right, Mary. Yep. Have a good day. Yep. Have a good day. Go out there to Peterson Park. Eat a mushroom. Take it easy, Semka.